Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Adem Bria. I'm the Chair of the License and Permits Committee. It's January 4th at 6:05 PM. I'll call the meeting to order. Next slide, please, Marlene. All right, I'm just gonna go over some ground rules. No one may speak until granted the floor. CB11 members, if you have a question about board business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand through Zoom. If you click the participants icon, the participants panel should appear and you should find the raise hand function there. If you still have technical difficulty, you may click the chat icon and relay your difficulty to the staff. The chat function should not be used for CB11 business or questions about agenda topics. All such remarks should be made on the record by raising your hand through Zoom. Chat should only be used to alert us to any technical difficulties you are having or to state in writing information like an email address that was already stated aloud on the record during the meeting. Please keep your questions and comments succinct and germane to the discussion. Members of the public, if you have a question or comment about the subjects on the agenda, please raise your hand through Zoom and wait to be recognized. Okay, so I call the meeting to order. Marlene, if you don't mind taking the roll.
Adem Briha,
Present.
Carlos Diaz,
Present.
Rosa Diaz, Angela Donadell,
Here.
Judith Ferraro, Wanda Hopkins is excused, Eugene Rodriguez,
Yeah.
and Jordan Wright.
Yeah.
You have a quorum, Adem.
Okay, thank you. All right, with that being said, if I don't see any objections, we'll adopt the agenda. This month's agenda, okay, seeing no objections, this month's agenda has been adopted. If I don't see any objections, we will also adopt the December committee minutes. Seeing no objections, then the December committee minutes are adopted. Okay, announcements. Mayor Adams issued emergency executive order 291, which extends the emergency declaration for 30 days through January 20th, 2023. That, if for anyone who's not aware, that's meaning we can continue not meeting in person. Next slide, please. Informational updates. I have some information, but it's more of a, I think I'll just share it under new business, and I won't bore the applicants with it, so we'll just move to the next slide. All right, so with that said, we'll start the liquor license portion of our meeting. Item 1 is Alex 123 Corp., the new application for a beer and cider license for a restaurant at 1928 3rd Avenue on 106th Street. Is the applicant here?
No,
The applicant's not here. All right, Marlene, if possible, we'll put this, maybe we'll table this, see if they show up, and we'll move to number 2 for now.
sure, no problem.
Thanks. Okay, so number 2 is Towie Kit Corp. doing businesses. Malini, new application for a wine and beer license for a restaurant located at 2028 2nd Avenue on 104th Street. Is the applicant here?
No,
And Marlene, correct me if I'm wrong, was this the applicant that had no documents?
yes, you're right. They didn't have
Okay.
the document.
All right, so they didn't submit anything since last you checked, right?
Yes,
Okay, well then, the reason I'm not gonna table this one and I am gonna table the last one is the last one, I believe, did submit all their documents, so I'm gonna give them an opportunity to come. But this applicant is not present and they have no documents. So if somebody is comfortable with making a motion, I will entertain one. If you all want to wait and see if they show up, we don't have a lot of items, so there's only going to be 2 more, and then we're going to come back to these. I'll leave it up to you. So does anyone want to say anything or make a motion? Eugene? You're on mute.
Angela was first. Motion to
Oh,
deny the application.
Motion
I
to deny.
second.
Second, all right, so motion to deny by Angela, seconded by Eugene. Marlene, if you could take the roll.
Adem Brija,
Deny.
Carlos Diaz,
Deny.
Rosa Diaz. I see that Rosa is joined, but I'm not sure if her audio isn't working. Angela Donadell,
Deny.
let's see, sorry. Eugene Rodriguez
Deny.
and Jordan Wright.
Deny.
The motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Next slide, please. Okay. so number-
Hello, good afternoon.
Who's
My name
speaking?
is Julio. Yes, my name is Julio Villalobos, and I'm representing Alex 123.
Okay, sir,
on-
we're gonna come back to you. So for now, just stay on the meeting and we're gonna circle back to your application in a few minutes. We'll call you when we're ready, okay?
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
okay. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Adem, was having problems with my.
No problem. Nope, I saw you joined in. Thank you. So we just denied one because they weren't here and they had no documents, and that's all we've done so far. That was number 2.
Oh, yeah, they had no
Yeah,
documents,
all right.
right?
So now we're on number 3. Legionnaire Tropical and Grill Corp. Renewal application for a wine and beer license for a restaurant at 172 East 103rd Street on 3rd Avenue. Marlene, are they here?
No, they're not required to be here because they're renewals.
But they are missing their public hearing notice,
Yeah,
right?
they're missing the posting.
Right, I'm sorry, which one are we on?
We're on number 3, Legionnaire Tropical and Grill Corp.
Yeah, they also don't have a stip and they don't have a questionnaire.
Marlene, is that correct? Or
No,
is
no,
it
no, they
just-
have it, Judith.
Oh,
Yeah, they're just missing the public hearing notice.
so they
But
must,
it really is irrelevant at this point because without that, we're not going to be able to approve them anyway, I don't believe. But before we
Yeah.
go with that, Angela, you have your hand up?
no, it must have come in after I picked up
Judith.
the documents, right?
Got you. Yes, it might have come in late or it could be the way the air
Right.
table is. I'm not sure. Angela, go ahead. Okay, Angela is not there. Carlos?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Well, no, your hand's up.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that was from before.
Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, thank you. All right, look, to keep this simple, it is a renewal and they are not here. However, they don't have a public hearing notice, meaning nobody from the public would have known if they wanted to come and comment on this, that they could have.
Right.
So with that being said, then it does not meet our requirements. Carlos?
Make a motion to deny.
Okay, so there's a motion to deny by Carlos. Do I have a second? All right, Eugene, is that a?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, seconded by Eugene. Marlene, if you could take the roll.
For Adem Brija,
Deny.
Carlos Diaz,
Deny.
Rosa Diaz.
Yes.
Are you denying the motion? Are you making a motion to deny as well?
Right.
I'm not sure what that was, Rosa. I'm sorry. You have to repeat yourself on the record.
Sorry, I'm okay with denying.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Angela Donadell,
To deny.
Judith Ferraro,
Deny.
Eugene Rodriguez,
Denied.
and Jordan Wright.
Deny.
It carries again.
Thank you. Next slide, please.
Adam?
Yep. Yes,
Yeah, will we be able to see them again, or if they do get the public hearing, are we able to review their application again?
yeah, if they submit it, they can even submit it, and come back before full board. It's a renewal, so if they have it before full board, theoretically, they could come there in new business and do that. We've seen that happen.
Can we let them know that?
I mean, that's Marlene, if that's up to you, I mean, it's a renewal, so they should know the procedure, but Marlene, if you do have their email, if you could let them know and.
I mean, the board office usually, when a renewal is denied, we tell them from the office
Okay.
that they got denied.
Okay.
And if you all as a committee are agreeing, it's not up to the board office on this end. If you all are agreeing to send them to exec or full board, that's up to you as a committee, and you'll let me know.
Yeah, I'm not agreeing to anything. I'm just like, let's let them know, and then if they wanna come there, I guess they can do that. We'll allow it, but I guess first notify them and see what they want to do. But yeah, they're welcome to come to executive or full board. It's just the notice. The only thing is that's a time sensitive thing. I think executive meets the 19th and it's a
Yeah.
7-day notice. So
Mhm.
they'd have to, if they want to come to executive, they'd have to have the notice, I believe, up by the 12th. And
Yeah,
then whatever, it would be 7 days before full board. So to me, either one is fine because it is a renewal. It's not a big thing that we need to like sit here and vet out. So,
mhm.
okay. Thank you, Eugene.
Well,
With that said, we are number 4, Rayo's Bar and Grill, doing business by the same name, renewal application for a full liquor license for a restaurant at 455 East 114th Street on Pleasant Avenue. It's a renewal. They have all their documents. There are no 311s. With that being said, Marlene, I thought I heard that there was a rep from there or somebody from there. So,
They're on.
okay, whoever's here on behalf of Rayo's, if you want to, you can introduce yourself and say what you'd like, but you don't have to. So that's up to you. The floor is yours. I don't know if they're trying to speak. I don't see. Well,
They can speak. They have.
yeah, they're on mute.
Yeah.
Whoever's here, okay, I think they can talk now.
Am I off mute now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Hello?
Yep, we hear
Oh,
you.
good. My name is Ron Stracy. I'm one of the owners of the restaurant that my grandfather opened many, many years ago. And it's a pleasure talking to you all. I'm sorry I can't be there, which I've done many times in the past, but Happy New Year. And I hope you look favorably upon our application for renewal.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. All right,
Thank you.
Judith?
Yes, they have no stip or questionnaire. Are
They
we
have-
eliminating those? Because I'm noticing that on all of these.
Marlene told me that they have everything.
Yes, they have all of it, Judith. I stapled the notices and the stip and questionnaires together. So just go through the stapled documents and you'll see them. So go behind that 30-day notice that's in your hand.
And
you'll
I
see.
can verify that I indeed saw them on the air table myself. They do have everything. I'll give you, if it makes you comfortable, I'll give you a minute to see if you can see them for yourself. And
No,
then I'm gonna-
I don't have it in the packet. So, I
Okay.
mean, I get, maybe they came in after the packet. I
No,
don't know.
no, they had them. I'm not sure what the difficulty, I'm only going off of what I see on the air
Yeah.
table and they do
It's
have them.
not in the packet, Marlene.
Okay.
so-
All right, with that said, then Eugene,
Well, Judith, I'm sorry, Adem, before you go into a vote.
Yep.
Judith, the stip is not going to look the same because it was revised. So look again and look at the top of the form. They'll say stipulation
Oh,
revised December 20, right? So just look very carefully and you'll see it.
Oh, they changed it?
There were minor revisions made to the SIP and the questionnaire. It's the same form though. It just looks a little different.
it's the layout.
It's on the current CB11 letterhead, the one that exists right now.
and it's
Okay.
easier to read that way.
All right, no.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Marlene. Judith, you have it. I don't want to belabor this point, though. So Eugene, go ahead.
The folks at Rayo's are my good neighbors, so I make a motion to approve their request.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Motion to approve by Eugene.
I'll
Angela?
second it.
Second the motion.
Okay, so there's a motion to approve by Eugene. It is seconded by Angela. Marlene, if you could take the roll, please.
Adem Briha,
Yes.
Carlos Diaz,
Yes.
Rosa Diaz,
Yes.
Angela Donadell,
Yes.
Judith Ferraro,
Yes, and thank you for letting us know that the STIP and questionnaire look different. Otherwise, I would have never known.
No problem. Eugene Rodriguez
Yes, and I vote for Hakeem Jeffries.
and Jordan Wright.
Yes.
It carries it then.
Thank you. All right, Ron, thank you and Happy New Year. You don't have to stay on
Thank you so
anymore.
much. Happy New
Thank
Year
you.
to all.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Marlene,
Thank you.
could we circle back to one?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we're coming back to one now. Alex 123 Corp. New application for a beer and cider license on Third Avenue and 106th Street. I believe now somebody representing the establishment is here. So whoever is here from Alex 123 Corp., please state your name for the record and just tell us a little bit about your business. You're gonna unmute yourself, Alex 123 Corp., and then you should be able to speak. They're not unmuting themselves.
Yeah, they have the ability to mute on their end. I've allowed access.
If it's on a phone, what is it, *6?
Yes, to unmute, it's *6.
Okay, so Alex 123 Corp., if you're on a phone, you can, okay, you're unmuted. Go ahead, please.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Julio Villalobos, and I'm representing Alex 123, placed at 1928 on 3rd Avenue. Good afternoon, all of you, and happy 2023 for all of you and your families. About the business, it's a small business, and we just requesting beer license because our clients request sometimes a beer when they eat something on the restaurant. So that's the only reason. We have only 6 tables, which is 2 seats on each one. And we sell basically sandwich and breakfast, kind of a little stuff, not much. We don't have a full kitchen.
Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to see if our committee members have any comments or questions for you. So just stay on and be prepared if in case they need you to answer anything. Does anybody from the committee have any? Thank you. Any questions, comments? Okay, Rosa.
Hi, good evening. I do have a question. If it's a small restaurant, what are the working hours?
Will be between 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. or 11 p.m. probably with the beer. No more than that.
I believe don't hold me to this yet, but I think you listed for the hours that it was 8 p.m., but I could be wrong. If anyone else?
Yes, we working right now to 8 p.m.
Well,
Maybe with the beer we can open an extra hour, but no more
here's
than that.
here's the reason. If you apply with what you have currently and you change your mind, you're not just going to be able to go and do that. Like right now, you're saying 7 p.m. on Sunday. Let's say you get it for 7 p.m. and then next month you go, I'm going to stay open and serve beer till 9. You would have to come back here again and do that. So what I'm saying here is to help you. No, let me finish. What I'm saying here is if you are planning to stay open till 9, 10, or 11, you don't have to do it right now, but you could modify your hours if the committee's okay with that, because then you don't have to come back again if you want to change your hours. So my question to you is, right now you have it, your hours are, you have a little bit different opening 9, 7, but your closing is 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday, Sunday at 7 p.m. Do you want to revise that and make it later?
No, I'm gonna keep those hours.
Okay, and just so we're clear again, if you decide at some point to extend the hours in which you serve alcohol, you would need to come back before this committee again and have that revised. That's just so we're clear.
Understand, sir.
Okay, all right, then that's fine. Do we have any other questions or comments? Angela?
I'd like to put in a motion to approve the application as is.
Great, thank you. Okay, so there's a motion to approve by Angela. Carlos, is that a
I'll
second?
second it.
All right, seconded by Carlos. Marlene, if you could take the roll.
Adam Brihas,
Approve.
Carlos Diaz,
Approve.
Rosa Diaz,
Approve.
Angela Donado,
Approve.
Judith Ferraro,
Approve.
Eugene Rodriguez,
Approved.
and Jordan Wright.
Approve.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you for being here. Good luck. We wish you the best.
Thank you so very much to all of you, and happy 2023 for all of you.
Same to you. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, so that wraps up the liquor licenses for the evening. We will move to street activity permits now. All right, so first up, which is item 5 on our agendas, is Carnaval del Barrio Street Festival, July 29th. Setups 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. It's on 116th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenue. It's a full street closure. Is the applicant present? I think I see him. Hector?
Yes, I am.
Okay, hi Hector. Well, we have your name, but if you don't mind stating your name for the record and just
Yes,
telling us
yeah,
a little bit about your festival.
not a problem. My name is Hector Gonzalez, and Happy New Year's to everyone.
Same to you.
And the Carnaval del Barrio, as you know, Carnaval del Barrio has been around for the past 26 years. Last year, we did a one-day event, and we are requesting this year to have a 2-day event, 2 avenues, from 2nd Avenue to 3rd, and from 3rd Avenue to Lexington. The festival was a 3-day festival from the same avenues. And I would like to see if I could apply for the event as a 2-day festival. The festival is a cultural event and also takes place in July 29th, Saturday, and July 30th. It is approved. And the carnival brings the Latino communities of East Harlem, Spanish Harlem, with live entertainment, food, games, carnival rides for the children. Small businesses and street vendors take part of the celebration, and while artists and performers took on the stage to engage the community in dance, song, and poetry. The director of entertainment, which is myself, I'm a SAG member, Skin Actors Guild member, also a veteran of the United States Armed Forces. I'm ready to maintain and go ahead with the Carnaval del Barrio. The festival purpose is a 2-day event with live music, entertainment, and the stage will open to live bands and provide a platform for artists to exhibit the talent while vendors and festival hosts engage their families and children in the arts, culture, food, dance. Sponsors will be present, providing the community with free health and wellness resources and information. The Carnaval del Barrio will be run as regulations and safe standards required by the city and state of New York, and we hope to promote economic growth, social and cultural appreciation and recognition, as well as to bring an harmonious while celebrating heritage and traditions of El Barrio.
Thank you. All right, before I open it up, I have a couple of questions. So I'm looking through your, and Marlene, you could also correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm only seeing the SAPO application listing 2nd and 3rd Avenue. I'm not seeing anything for 3rd and Lexington Avenue.
Yes, I submitted a map.
The map I have,
And
but
also-
I'm talking about the actual SAPO application. I don't see it for that.
Right, so they want to,
Yeah,
according to what Hector emailed me, just like the letter of support I got this afternoon, Hector emailed me after I sent you all the agenda that he
Okay.
wants to extend it to 2 blocks to reach Lexington Avenue. So I advised him that he has to do that through SAPO.
Mhm.
And then when that clearance happens, then I will give you all through the Airtable, the corrected SAPO application, the summary. But right now, that's what it says in SAPO until Hector gets the clearance.
Yes,
Okay,
I agree.
okay, and the letter of support was between Second and Third Avenue and 116? Did it come from something over there?
I just got it at 5 something this afternoon. So
But it came in, okay.
yeah, it came in. It was just a little late.
Marlene, a question for you, and you might just say it's up to us, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Mhm.
Could we theoretically, if we decide to, approve the third and Lex, and that's contingent on then SAPO approving it, or should we just wait and approve what he has presented to them, and then when he goes and gets that, he can come back for that? That's my question.
Right. So he wouldn't have to come back to you all.
Okay,
I can just give you all the corrected summary when he
Okay.
does have it, so you know. So if he gets the approval before full board, I'll change this. So the full body reads to Lexington Avenue.
okay. Hector, question.
Yeah.
Since Marlene hasn't been able to share because it came in just a little while ago.
Yes,
Where was the letter? Who'd you get the letter of support from?
the letter of support was from the residents. The letter was sent to the incorrect address, so I had to look
Okay.
it up. Because when the event was submitted to the city, to the CCM and SAPO, Carnaval del Barrio was submitted as an event from 7:29 at 9 a.m. to 7:29. I mean to 7:30, 9 p.m., including the 2 days. So I have that before me, the submitted event details, and also the event review.
Yeah, my only question right now is about the letter of support. So when you say residents, which residents? Was it like a tenant board?
No, residents of the El Barrio.
Oh, you're talking about the petition of signatures. That's not the same thing as a letter of
Okay,
support.
the petition, no, it was taken twice. It was taking the petition simultaneously with the support. It was taking both. We asked to have signed both applications at the support and also at the application. But people were signing both at the same time.
Marlene, question,
Yes.
sorry, letter of support, can it come from a tenant living there, or is this more from an organization or a business that's actually on
Or
the street?
business.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a business, especially because it's a street festival.
right, that's what I'm thinking, because that's who's directly
Yeah,
impacted.
it's an organization or
Right.
business, an entity surrounding the
Exactly.
event. Yeah.
So
Excuse me,
Hector,
there's businesses included there. As you could read it, there's businesses
well,
included.
that problem is I can't read it right now. I don't have it, so in
Okay,
front of me, so
Not a
yeah, I
problem, but
don't.
the businesses were included as well.
Can you tell me a business that signed it, that wrote
Yes,
a letter of support?
Caridad sign,
Okay, okay.
Azteca sign, about 5, 6 businesses on the same block.
Let me
Signed it.
try, do you mind, guys, just go, you can all speak. I'm gonna stop sharing and try to bring this up. Let me see when he sent it, okay?
Yeah, yeah,
It
thank
was
you.
late. Just hold
Okay.
on.
Take your time. Hector, we'll wait on that. My question now is, these businesses, are any of them between Third and Lex, or are they all between Second and Third?
They're both on 2nd and 3rd and Lexington.
Okay, so what we'll do is we're gonna just hold off for a minute, see if Marlene could share it. If that's the case, then that should be sufficient. In the meantime, I have 2 hands up, so Judith, then Angela, if you have a question you want to ask in the meantime, Judith, the floor is yours. You're on mute, Judith.
All right, I'm gonna be stupid now, but where is Marin Boulevard?
Who?
Marin Boulevard.
Marine Bull?
That's
16th
Munoz
Street.
Marin Boulevard.
Yeah.
What?
16th Street.
I think that's what it's named over there. Isn't that?
Luis Muñoz Marin.
Where is it?
On 16th Street.
Yeah, 116th Street and where? What's Marin Boulevard?
From Fifth Avenue all the way to
Boulevard,
Second
Second
Avenue.
What Carlos is saying is 116th, I believe, between First Avenue and Fifth Avenue. It's also known as that,
Yes.
Marine Boulevard. So it's just like another, it's like when you name a
Oh, it's
street,
like a co-name?
it's like a
Is that what you're
co-naming,
saying?
right? It's like when you have a
co-name?
street number, but there's also a name above it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's
That
fine.
that gets confusing. They should just use the regular street name.
Thank you. Angela?
So this is Carnival de Barrio, right?
Yes.
Celebrating the cultures of East Harlem. But you've only mentioned Latino cultures, and there are other cultures. Are other cultures going to be included in the dynamic? We have a large Asian population. There are African Americans, or is this surrounding a particular event thing that happens in the Latino culture? I remember growing up that there was always like the carnival that came with the rides, but that was like on 109th Street all the time. So I want a better understanding. If you're covering a cultural event, are you including all the various cultures that live in East Harlem?
When we say Latino and Hispanic, when we say Latinos, Hispanic, Spanish Harlem, we include
I'm sorry, I did
everyone
not hear
that
what you
lives
said.
in the neighborhood.
Excuse me?
I said when we call it Latino culture and Spanish Harlem means everyone that lives in the neighborhood.
Right,
So we
but
cater
you're
to everyone.
celebrating a particular culture, and not everybody that lives in that premise is of that culture. So are you incorporating other
It
cultures?
has been for the past 26 years. It has been for the past 26 years, Carnaval del Barrio on 116th,
So
East
this,
116th
so why
Street,
do you have this
second.
event? Like I know the other carnival usually coincided with like Easter vacation. So what is this one's purpose?
No, this
Just
is
to
in
have
July.
it?
This is in July, at the end of July,
I
Saturday,
understand.
Sunday of July.
I just feel that when you talk about cultures in a community and making this thing, yes, 26, then this is very specifically a Latino cultural event, not the cultures of El Barrio, because the two things are different.
When we use Spanish Harlem, we include everyone that resides in the neighborhood. It doesn't matter if you are Cuban or Mexican or you are Afro-American, as long as you live in the neighborhood,
Right.
you
There's
are
Bengali
included.
people that live in East Harlem. There's African Americans. There are Africans. There are Haitians. There are many other cultures here. I just
There
want
are what? There are white people.
okay, I couldn't say that. I didn't want to go there.
Why?
Caucasian people there. Are we celebrating all those cultures? I think that El Barrio needs to open its arms up and start to recognize that there are a lot more other cultures in this community that need to be incorporated. So you should have things at this thing that will resonate with other cultures. Just an opinion. I'm not against it. I'm just saying. I thought maybe there was a specific reason that you have this like that. I don't know.
No,
Okay,
Spanish Harlem culture brings about everyone that is our assemblyman, our council person, everyone that is in the neighborhood.
I'm not denying that everyone and anyone is invited, but if you're talking about the cultures of El Barrio, then you have to include more than just the Latino culture. My opinion, that's how I feel. Thank you.
okay, thank you, Angela. And thank you, Hector.
Thanks.
All right, Marlene, I see that you've pulled something up here.
Yeah, so this was their letter of support, and then they also had petitions. So this is what Hector was referring to. There are a few petitions.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right, in addition to the petitions that you already asked for,
Right.
is what he probably meant by, Hector, you can correct me if you're wrong, if I'm wrong, the residents of the block, but you already provided that to the board, right? Because they already asked that of you. The letter of support, like what the guidelines for SAPRO events say, it should come from like a business, an entity, organization, something surrounding the event. Something like that, your event is going to impact businesses that are around in the area, right? So just, they should support your event happening. And SAPO also requires things like that as well. So I guess you did double work with giving petitions for support. And so you gave this twice. So this is 1 and 2.
Are we able to see, or is just a signatures basically?
Yeah, they're just signatures.
So there's no actual like letter from a business on their letterhead with a signature on the letter?
Right.
Nope.
Okay.
Carlos, I'm gonna lower your hand for a minute. It's like in the way.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so Hector, sounds like you did a lot of work, but unfortunately, and we won't deny it, we're not gonna deny it, but what we're gonna probably ask you is, since now you're also looking to do this on 2 blocks as opposed to 1, which I haven't heard anyone here having an issue with yet, what we would ask is that you get a letter of support, and by a letter, we mean a 1-page letter on a business or organization with their, like their header on there, and just, 1 little paragraph. I, on so-and-so, on behalf of this business or organization, support, Carnival del Barrio on these dates. You're gonna need, in my opinion, 2 letters, because now it's on 2 blocks. So it would be a business or an organization on 116th between 2nd and 3rd. And then
Maybe 2 and 2, 2 from Lexington and 3rd and Lex.
we usually only ask for 1, but if you guys want to make that ask, I'm not gonna stop you. Carlos, may I ask, if you don't mind, what's your reasoning behind wanting?
The
2?
reason is because there is a lot of vendors out there, there's a lot of stores out there.
That's a valid concern. 116 is
You wanna make
busy.
sure that they are aware of it and they are supportive of it. If you don't do that and you have 20 storefronts and you only get 1 letter, it's
That's okay.
But I recommend that we do 1 or 2 letters from both sides of the street, from Lexington and 3rd and 3rd and.
2nd and 3rd, and 3rd and Lex. Okay,
Hector, is that all right with you?
well, to be frank, it's not really a question of if he's all right with it. It's more of a question of, is this what we want?
Okay.
And then he's gonna, and I don't think, and I'm not trying to be difficult here, but I asked you why you felt that way, and you make a valid point. There are a lot of businesses there. It is not really challenging to get 4 letters across 2 avenues on 116th Street. And I think it'll benefit Hector in that he'll have adequate support. Should anybody say anything, you could say, look, I have 4 letters of support from businesses. So, Carlos, you made that call, so I'm okay with that. I don't know if anybody else wants to chime in, say how they feel. Rosa?
Hi, yeah, I wanna also Calidad, it's in 106 in Lexington, not in 116 in Lexington. So it should be 2 letters. I totally agree with Carlos. It should be 2 letters from 116 between 1st and 2nd and 2nd in Lexington, wherever he wants to do it. But it has to be like nearby 116, not like far away, like 106 or 103rd, 101. I'm just saying, and I also want to acknowledge what Angela just said. It shouldn't be just Latino Carnival. It should be El Barrio Carnival. So he should stick with El Barrio Carnival for everyone, for the people. Just wanted to make that comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what it looks like it's gonna be, and I'm gonna kind of phrase this, and then we'll see if somebody would like to make a motion. It's gonna be a conditional motion to approve. And that's gonna be, I'm gonna say, what's today? It's Wednesday, January 4th. We can give, because I don't believe there is any urgency on this. When is next? This is Wednesday, January 4th. So we have Friday, January 13th, Friday the 13th, bad luck. But Hector, what we would ask is that you provide 4 letters of support from businesses or organizations, 2 on, and anyone correct me if I'm wrong, but it says here on 1/16th between 2nd and 3rd, 2 from there, and then 2 from 1/16th between 3rd and Lexington, for a total of 4 letters of support by Friday, January 13th, which is about a week and a half from today. We ask that those letters be emailed to Marlene, who you've been corresponding with, by close of business on Friday, January 13th. That would be 5 p.m. And if they are in, then you've met your condition, and then the conditional approval will automatically become an approval by this committee, which will then go to full board for a final vote. Before I go
second.
any further, there are
Much.
2 hands up. So Eugene and then Rosa.
Yeah, this isn't scheduled to take place till July sometime. So I don't think we should impose a deadline of a week from now.
Well, no,
Yeah,
but
month
if,
from
if he
now.
wants it approved this month, he does need that deadline. Because then he'd have to come back again. So it's actually benefits him to have him in now. Otherwise, if he doesn't, he's gonna have to come back again. I don't think he wants to do that, but that's up to him. Rosa?
I wanted to make a motion for him to come back on Friday with all the conditions that you stated.
And just so we're clear, I didn't say this Friday, I meant next Friday. So not Friday the
Yes.
6th. Okay, Friday
Next
the
Friday.
13th. Okay. Marlene,
Yeah, so I just want to be
Are-
clear.
yeah, go
Uh-huh.
ahead.
So you want 4 letters of support, 2 from 116th between 3rd and Lex, and then what is the second location?
Lexington and 3rd.
Well, am I correct in this is between, is this on 1/16th between 2nd and 3rd and 3rd and Lex?
Yes,
So then 2 from 1/16th between 2nd and 3rd, and 2 from 1/16th between 3rd and Lex. Since those are the 2 blocks he's gonna have it on, have 2 and 2, so they're equally represented.
Okay, thanks. And you have it to the board office by January 13th.
Yeah, at 5 p.m., give it
5
the
p.m.
close of business. Okay, so that conditional motion,
Okay.
that conditional approval motion was made by Rosa. Is there a second? Carlos,
Second it.
seconded by Carlos. Thank you. Marlene, if you could take the roll, please.
Adem Brija,
Approve.
Carlos Diaz,
Approved.
Rosa Diaz,
Approve.
Angela Donadell,
Abstain.
Judith Ferraro,
Abstain.
Eugene Rodriguez,
approved.
and Jordan Wright.
Approve.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. All right, Hector, good luck. And just have those letters in by next Friday, and then you should be good to go, pending SAPO on the 3rd and Lex, but we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you. No problem.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, so now we are on number 6, El Barrio Family Day Health Fair Festival, Street Festival. It's on May 14th, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's on East 116th between 2nd and 3rd. It's a full street closure. And I believe I do believe they have all their documents, but the Marlene, go ahead.
Yeah, just so you know, the 2 remaining SAPO app, they both belong to Martina, so,
Yeah.
so you know.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So then maybe in the sake of time, what we'll do, since I believe all the documents are submitted and we have this same person representing them, I just went over 6, then Marlene, if you can go to number 7, I'll just read that out loud. And then if Martina just wants to tell us a little bit about both, and then we can vote on them individually just to keep everything straight. So number 7, Also, Martina, is Back to School Health Fair Festival. It's a street festival. It's on August 13th. It's also from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's, I believe, also on East 116th between 2nd and 3rd Avenue, and it's a full street closure. So with that being said, Martina, the floor is yours. Just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about both of your events. Martina, if you have to unmute yourself, if you're on Zoom, it's on the lower left, or if you're on a phone, it's *6. Okay, I'm not sure if she's having technical difficulties.
She probably is, because she's on.
Okay, so I believe she's done these before,
Yeah,
and she has all her documents, and she is here. So, I mean, did anyone actually have any questions?
no.
Rosa, well, all right, Carlos, if it's a motion, I'm gonna go to you. Rosa, your hand is up.
I was gonna second the motion.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Carlos. Carlos, let's do number 6 first. So Marlene, if you can go back to 6. All right, so Carlos, make a motion on this if you
I'll make a
wish.
motion to approve May 14th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay, the Alvario, okay, beautiful. And Rosa, that's a second?
I second it.
Okay, so motion to approve item 6 by Carlos, seconded by Rosa. Marlene, if you could take the roll?
Adem Brija,
Yes.
Carlos Diaz,
Yes.
Rosa Diaz,
Approve.
Angela Donadell,
Approved.
Judith Ferraro,
Approve.
Eugene Rodriguez,
Yes.
and Jordan Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. So then if we can go to slide 7. Carlos, your hand is still up. Would you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve number 7.
Okay, so there's a motion to approve by Carlos. Eugene? Seconded by Eugene.
I'll
Okay,
second.
thank you. Marlene, if you could take the roll?
Adem Brija,
Yes.
Carlos Diaz,
Yes.
Rosa Diaz,
Approve.
Angela Donadell,
Approved.
Judith Ferraro,
Yes.
Eugene Rodriguez,
Yes.
and Jordan Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Martina, good luck. And with that said, now if we can move to, I don't know, I think it's old business. Okay, old business. Marlene, quick question. I think it's old business. I know last month we said that we weren't gonna be asking for petitions for as long as the mayor continues to extend the order about having the meetings in Zoom, because I believe our whole reasoning at the time for suspending the petitions was the close contact. And we all, I think, agreed last month that if the mayor finds it that we shouldn't be meeting in person, then we should probably just follow suit with that and continue the things we set in place for COVID safety. And I know that I mentioned it at full board when I went over my minutes that we were doing that, and I wasn't sure what the procedure was, like if the full board had to re-vote on this process, but I don't think they do. Can you clarify? Because I know some people were bringing in petitions. Can we, as this committee, just decide now that we're going to not do that, or do we need something from the full board?
No, if you decide as a
Okay.
community, right?
Okay, so then,
Yeah.
but then I'm not gonna get into long talk, because if anybody wants to say something, somebody could have a change of heart, change of mind. Somebody might have not been here last month, but if there isn't, I believe we were unified in stating that we are going to table the petitions until we start meeting in person again, or until we get some new information or whatever. But for now, we were gonna mimic, that theory that if we can't meet in person, people shouldn't be having to go up and get signatures. So Marlene, till we meet in person again, for now, we'll table this, and we will not be requiring signatures for street activity permits or liquor licenses. The public notice for now is, I believe, sufficient. As long as it is posted, people then know they can come here on Zoom where it's safe and common. Okay,
Okay.
so, and yeah, thank you for that. And then if we could go to new business. There's no, okay, new business, we're gonna get into a little bit of cannabis discussion, just kind of brief, okay? So, well, I think it was after our last meeting, I, along with our chairperson, Xavier Santiago, we attended kind of like an impromptu, non-formal meeting with some other boards, just to hear, without any commitments, nothing, just to hear how they're kind of handling, you know, cannabis, where they're at in terms of these dispensaries and these licenses, etc. There's a ton of reading. Angel has been going over these regulations. I've been going over them. One of my concerns at this meeting that I had, and you know, everybody was very well informed, great intentions. My issue always is, you know, we all have different, each board, each community has different challenges. And so to say it's going to be a blanket requirement process, whatever, amongst all boards it's a little bit of a utopian thought process, in my opinion, because we all know that just is not how things work, right? So we listened, and there is an agreement that there can be a general process, kind of like with SLA, right? Like we have these rules, these applications, and what we're thinking is that these dispensaries are going to mimic that application process for the most part, where then we can kind of tailor it to say, customize it to, you know, our community board is through a stipulation form, right? So, you know, perhaps in community board 4, they don't think they need a security guard outside, or they do think they need 4 security guards outside at 24 hours or whatever they're open. And here we think you need 2. So that's where we're going to be able to kind of shape that, in my opinion. That's the thinking at the moment. I don't know if everybody's checked their emails, but earlier, I believe Angel sent everyone on this committee 2 attachments. It was a brief email, and then there are 2 attachments. It was sent, just so if it makes it easier for you guys to find, 3:49 p.m. today. There was a due diligence application process, and then there's a due diligence application process checklist. I think it would be helpful for all of you to bring yourself up to speed with this. It seems as if when these applications do start to come, they are going to come before this committee. So it'd be best if everybody on this committee is at least somewhat well-versed and knowledgeable on this. Obviously, this is all a work in progress. I see hands, so I'm going to go to them. What I'm going to sum my comments up on for tonight is that I believe this is going to get hashed out a little bit more at executive committee this month. And the reason for that is, at least in the beginning, when the framework's being set, other committees are going to have things that they're impacted by this, and they're going to continue to be, whether that's economic development, public safety, etc. So the idea was to, I guess, flesh this out at executive, where every chair can kind of comment or express on how they feel their committee is going to be impacted and what suggestions or ideas they have. I welcome you all to attend that executive meeting. I don't know what the processes are, but we're all board members, and I believe we can all come in there, listen, comment, and whatever. And as my committee, I would appreciate whoever can attend. I believe that's on January 19th at 6:30 p.m. via Zoom. You come in and you can be a part of that conversation. I don't run that meeting, so I don't know how the speaking is going to go, whatever, but I would love for all of you to attend. That's all I have to say at the moment. And so now we have Judith and then Eugene. Judith, you're on mute.
Wait a minute. Community Board 1 just opened legally opened a dispensary and in the village, as you know.
Yes.
So that's legal. I would think that maybe whether it's Angel or Xavier, reach out to Community Board 1's chair to see how they were working it out, having a legally open.
That's a great suggestion. I think there's also, we could do that. I believe there's going to be one opening soon on 125th, but on the west side. So I think that would
Right,
be
on the west side.
CB10. And
Yeah.
one thing Judith, thank you, because your comment reminded me of one thing I meant to say. One of the big differences at the moment, and what we're trying to do is figure that out, is right now when you need a liquor license, right? You don't come here after you have the license and say, I'm
Right.
picking a location. And so I have the license now. And that's kind of how it seems like this is working at the moment.
Right.
Now, the license you're talking about, Judith, if I'm correct, it's part of a conditional licenses. They've only given 36 of those out, and you needed a charge of like marijuana or something on you, like a record. Somebody had to be on that license, right? Then they're going to open up. So those, I know they went under a little bit of a different process. Those were conditional licenses. They're still going to have to come before boards, but we're really trying to figure out how do we get these applicants here before they get the license, right? If OCM is going to be like SLA, right? They might be the ones that give the license, but like we should be able to give them a recommendation on applicants, not here's the applicant with the license and then they're coming to say hi to you. Like, where do we give our input there then, besides maybe saying we just don't like that location? But I think we have the right as a board to be able to vet out the applicants ahead of time. And I think we're a fair board and we only have the best interests of our community at large and in all facets. And I don't think there's really any other, I mean, obviously there's city organizations, institutions, but there is really no other collective or board that is as equipped for us to know how these types of things will impact all aspects of life: youth, education, public safety, economic development, etc. So thank you. And that's one of the things we're going to be focusing on, because I think that's very important.
Yeah, I do think that we should contact CB1 and see.
I think
how
that's a great idea.
Yeah, and the one on 125th Street is not legally opened yet.
No, it's not legal, but they have I believe they have a license. They just haven't actually opened it. So, but I'll talk to Xavier and an Angel, and we'll see if we can maybe set something up or get them to speak, or even if it's not in a meeting, to just give us some kind of ideas or what they went through.
Yeah,
Eugene,
exactly. Okay.
Eugene, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman Briha. I have a problem with this whole idea. A long time ago, I said, if you ever want to stop people from using pot, you should legalize it, because then they'll regulate it to death. Right now, it's ridiculous for somebody to open one pot shop in all of New York City. It's crazy. You have more people coming from New Jersey to buy pot in New York than you have people from that neighborhood buying pot. People are always talking about, oh, these smoke shops, illegal smoke shops are popping up all the time. Hell, they had a guy selling pot in front of the smoke shop 3 weeks ago. So what are you talking about? We have to talk, we also have to consider the potheads in this whole thing. You have to make it easy for them to, I mean, why do we make it legal if you're not making it easy for somebody to get it, an adult to get it, a 75-year-old pothead get so. I mean, I ain't walking down to the village to buy a jelly. It's not happening. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to my guy on the corner and talk to him, who has been there for the last 10 or 15 years. And that's what I got to say on the subject.
No, and I'm going to just, my thoughts on this, or you make an interesting point too, because a lot of these shops have popped open, right? Let's talk about ones that are actually not even hiding. There are some that are actual dispensaries, right? They're cannabis, we're selling it, come in, right? What do you do? Because the whole theory behind this, at least I thought with the conditional license, is like not we, but like the government, put people, mostly minorities, in jail on ridiculous sentences for marijuana offenses. So now what do you do to somebody who went and opened one of these places? They've been operating now. No one shut them down. They put hundreds of thousands of, maybe $1 million into their store. It's gonna, I see potentially there being an issue down the line where the things that this is all being done to make up for. How are you going to go about addressing it now? Like you said too, you're right. You're not going to the village from up here. I mean, the average person isn't going to get on the train, whatever, go there. So it's challenging. I by no means, no, I'm the chairman of this committee. I'm doing my best to bring myself up to speed to figure it out. I appreciate your feedback, and that is the very reason I'm inviting all of you. I mean, I don't have to invite you, you can just go, but to the executive meeting, because I think it's important that our comments and thoughts are all heard. And at full board, it's great, but it's a long meeting and people start to tune out at certain points. I think at executive, it's a more of a conversation just between the board members and we can get these thoughts up. Thank you for that.
Again-
Well, Angela, then Judith.
Oh,
Angela, then Judith. Angela.
If Judith wants to finish whatever she had
She
been,
has something to say. Go ahead. Then Judith, the floor is yours.
no, as far as what Eugene is saying, that's why I said we should contact CB1, because like you're saying, only one is open. How were they able to get that one open? And are others going to follow, like the 125th Street, which is going to follow probably very soon? It only starts with one being open, and then it'll probably be all over. I mean, we do have smoke shops here. We have
It already is all over. Yeah, just not legal.
It is all over.
Yeah.
The
It's- I
point
mean,
is, we have a smoke
It's
shop.
legal, but it's not
right here
legal.
on one-
It's
on
right. I
one-
mean, Eugene, that's exactly the point. It's legal,
Yeah.
but we're operating in such a gray area that I really,
And-
like you said, you, let's say you get a license, right? Let's just look at this for a second. You get a license, you spend a couple $1 million building out the store, getting your inventory. I'm just speaking as a person in the restaurant business, but I assume inventory on this costs a lot more than inventory on a restaurant. So let's say $2 million, you open a store. And then a guy comes and sells outside right in front of your store because there's no, what happens then? Because are you going to arrest the guy? The whole point of this was we're not doing that. So I haven't really heard these discussions be brought about how is this all going to be addressed, because it's like everything has been okay right now. And then how do you rein it all back in when you give the licenses out, right? Like, how are you going to be equitable and fair to everybody in this process now? And that well, whether anyone comes or not, I am going to bring this up on the 19th with
Okay, and
executive.
like, I didn't finish, and like Eugene said, people are coming from New Jersey to buy it. It's legal in New Jersey.
They
don't
have dispensaries in Jersey, yeah, but
It's legal in New Jersey. They don't
certain
have to-
counties, yeah. I think they go by
better not.
municipalities there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Angela, you've been patient. The floor is yours.
well, I believe I was the one that brought up the fact that there was a puff pass and peace.
Right.
Yeah, on
Almost
third,
a year ago.
yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
so my concern, one, today I read an article in the Chalk that said that the students are vaping and getting high in school.
Right.
They
It's true.
had this whole thing about children. Now we know they're not supposed to get it, and they'll get it. People get what they want when they want to get it. But what's going to happen to like Puff Pass and Peace? They do not have a license because licenses wasn't even being given out when they opened up. So I think it's going to cause more turmoil between the illegal dispensary places versus the legal dispensary places. So where are we solving the problem at?
I'm wondering if this problem is well above our pay grade. And
It might be.
we don't get paid, so. I'm
We
not really
don't get
sure.
paid.
And I'd like to know also, is there going to be a high tax on this like there is in cigarettes?
Well, and then here you go, you make a great point, right? If you have to pay a high tax and you're somebody with a store, but then you're the guy outside the store selling it, are you really charging the high tax and paying? I mean, there's a million things. I'm hoping
Right.
that these are being thought about and being solved. I assume they are, but we need to bring it up and we need
Yes.
to kind of know this stuff,
There needs to be more rules because there are quality of life issues
100%.
about children. That's my biggest concern because I was in a car today and we got out the car. The people in the other car got out the car and we got high because when they opened the door,
Contact
it
card.
was like, oh my God, there's so much. And so our children. These guys are out here by the schools, standing outside smoking weed.
Hey, look, I live across the street from the Veterans SRO on 119th Street.
Oh yeah, that must
You
be
can't
fun.
even walk on that block without getting stoned. Let me tell you.
What are you saying? You walk down that block a lot, Judith? No. I'm joking.
No, but at least though we're moving in a particular direction and we have questions. And you are
listen,
sure
that's all we can do right now is have
that
questions.
meeting is on the 19th, right?
Yeah, it's going to
And
be
I know
executive.
I have
If I get
another-
more information, I will share it with all of you.
Yes.
I'm not exactly sure how in depth it's going to, I mean, that's not my meeting to run. I'm pretty sure I was told that it's going to be a topic, because, and that reminds me of another thing I forgot to say. There's a 30 and a 60-day commenting period, right? Now, what those commenting periods entail in totality, I'm not 100% sure. And I don't know if anybody was 100% sure yet. I think at executive, we're going to get more clarity. It is quite possible that the 30-day commenting period is going to be sometime before we all meet next month, meaning the board may have to take some position at full board this month on whatever the 30-day period is. Then I assume if the 30-day period's wrapping up, then the 60-day would, if it's running concurrently, would end.
It'll be 30 more days.
So that's another reason why I think it's important, is because if we're going to go to full board with something, and meaning then we're probably going to have fleshed out at executive, and this is going to be the committee where ultimately these applications come, we should really all be, as educated and also have our input. We're all members. There's 50 or 46 now or whatever, but we should all give our input. That way, when the rules are set, no one can say, oh, I didn't know, I wasn't there, I wasn't invited. We can't go backwards, right? So this is the time, I mean, I've been on this board a long time, and many times I've heard, wait, when did that happen? How did that happen? And I'm like, wait, you were at the meeting or you didn't go to the meeting. So let's all be on the ball here, because this is very important, one way or another. Whatever your personal opinions about this are, and that's all fine. It's all important, right? So Eugene, your hand's up. You could speak now. It's kind of become an impromptu discussion.
Well, all I'm going to say is my grandson's father just got out of jail about 6 months ago for selling pot on the street. Where's he going to get $1 million to open up a store?
Well, here's the thing.
Number two, there's an old saying among potheads that says, pot will get you 2 times of no money, better than money will get you 2 times of no pot. So waiting 60 days for somebody to open a business down the block.
To your first question, I believe, because you said he had a marijuana conviction, so he would have been theoretically, I think it's past 30, a conditional applicant. And I believe they were intending on raising 150 million or so. That was the goal. And there were like 136 applicants, right? So they were, I think, going to try to give each applicant like $1 million to help them go ahead. The other, which I don't think happened, because I don't think they could secure the funding as far as I know. Secondly, the way it works, if I'm correct, and I could be wrong, is the license holder in the conditional cases, maybe in the other ones too, is they have to own 51% of the business. So theoretically, they could sell the 49% to anybody. You don't need a marijuana conviction. And that person then, with their 49%, kind of becomes the money person, right? And so that's, I guess, one was to raise money. The other one is, well, you can sell 49% of your license and raise money. I mean, it seems like number one didn't work, and I don't know how number two is going to play out, or if they're going to end up coming up with the money. But yeah, so that's what I know on that. Jordan?
Hey, Adem, just to kind of follow up on that point, I think the other real rub, less so than the $1 million with the money, which I don't know whether or not everyone got the money that they said they were going to get, but I think they're still being built out as we go through this gray area, as you eloquently put it, that we don't really know what's going on. I think it was also that the person with the previous conviction who'd been wrongfully, incarcerated for the situation or whatever it may be, that they had to have owned a business for 2 years previous,
That
which
is true.
that, was also the real rub, less so than the money, because if they're going to give you the money, have you really owned a business? What's really going on? And that's really what was the real rub, I think, with a lot of this.
Thank you, Jordan. And I mean, I haven't been to prison, but I can imagine from what I hear, it's much harder to do anything, get a job, open a business once you have a record. So to
Right.
put that requirement is, like Jordan said, a rub, like it makes it very difficult. And I forgot that part, but yeah, you need to own a business operating. I think you needed to show your tax returns for that business, et cetera, have the corporation existing. So I think it became a very narrow group of people within a group of people who were supposed to be helped that could actually meet all these. And to that topic, Judith, the dispensary you're referring to in CB1, all I know is that it's being run by a non-for-profit called Housing Works. Now, I don't, and that's why I'd like more information, because I don't know how that worked, right? Like, if it, because I believe it would be a conditional license, meaning somebody needed a marijuana conviction, right? Now, did the non-for-profit partner up with the person with the marijuana conviction? Did the person with the marijuana conviction have a non-for-profit called Housing Works? I don't know. These are all good questions. And
Housing Works, because it was on the news yesterday.
Right, and it's a non-for-profit. All the money is supposed to be donated back to like their organization. And then what interestingly enough was they said they were planning on doing $1 million a year in revenue, which didn't sound like a lot of money to me, because I know when they opened the initial 8 dispensaries in New Jersey, I think they did something like $60 million in 3 months over 8 dispensaries. So you do the math there. It's a whole lot more than $1 million in a year. So I don't know.
But then just from my perspective to everyone, since the 60s, now I won't say we, but people have been doing drugs since the 60s that I know of. And, illegally, it's not legal. So these dispensaries that are coming up legally, people are still gonna find a way to do it illegally and get all the drugs that they want.
Well, Eugene made the point. It's a way to tax it and regulate it and control it to an extent. Because like you said, anyone who wants to do this can do it now. And they're not going to jail for doing it. So,
Right.
I mean, at least I don't think so, but.
That's why I don't understand this legalization, because they're gonna do it anyway. They'll find a way to do it. I know.
Where there's a will, there's a way,
Exactly.
Yeah, they're gonna,
like I said, since the 60s, and I'm not gonna, give you my information about it, but I mean,
I was around in the 60s, Judith, don't be upset.
We were doing a lot of drugs.
We used to hang out in the 60s, remember, Judy?
And that's it.
No, she doesn't remember because
who doesn't remember? I don't remember. You're right. I don't remember the 80s, that's for sure. But
I see a hand up in the attendees. Tamika, if you wish to speak, you go ahead.
Hi, baby girl.
Oh, hey, Judith. It's kind of like weird because I've been going to the meetings for the cannabis. My only concern is it's still not legal and federally. And, if once our small businesses start making some money, what the Fed's going to do, step in and trying to, lock our people who have felonies from before up into new cases. And the state haven't did a good job to answer that question for me at all, to see how people who have previous convictions, how they're going to be covered if the feds come knocking on their door.
Thank you. All right, I think we had a good discussion.
Maybe they'll make a decision once we get a new Speaker of the House.
When's that gonna happen?
Maybe it happened. We just got to end this meeting and find out.
No, it didn't happen.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
It didn't happen. I'm watching it right now.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep anyone longer. I mean, I appreciate it. I could stay on all night, but I don't know about the rest of you. So
no, we can't.
That wraps it up for new business. And then Marlene, if you could take the roll, since everybody seems to have been nice and stayed. Thank you all.
Aden Brihan,
Here.
Carlos Diaz,
Here.
Rosa Diaz,
Here.
Angela Donadell,
Happy New Year, everyone. And yes, I am still here.
Judith Fibaro,
Here, and a happy and healthy new year. Yeah.
Wanda Hopkins is excused, Eugene Rodriguez,
Here, and I'm voting for Hakeem Jeffries again.
Oh, what a mistake. All right.
He's a Republican.
right.
Hey,
Good night,
don't,
everyone.
Happy
Don't-
New Year, everyone.
don't
Thank you.
short it, because who knows? He might win.
Oh,
I
God.
mean,
Well, with my vote, he got 113.
I'm here as well. My name wasn't called. I don't
Okay,
think.
It
Jordan.
was called. I
It
called
was-
you.
oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear Marlene. I'm sorry.
sorry, Jordan.
It's okay.
All right. Happy New Year,
Good
everyone.
night,
Stay
everybody.
safe.
Night, Happy New
Good night.
Year.